Tiki, here we go. So as teams deal with the fallout for the Week 2 bloodbath, injuries across the board, Broncos brought in former third overall pick Blake Bortles after losing Drew Lock for at least a month with a rotator issue. Now, Bortles is 28 and never lived up to expectations in Jacksonville, but he does have 103 touchdowns and 75 picks. He's played a lot. He can run. He's a good athlete, as we know. While current Denver starter Jeff Driscoll has just 12 touchdowns and 7 picks in 8 career starts. In or out, Bortles would be a better option at quarterback than Driscoll once he has a week or so to learn the offense.
I'm going to say out of bounds. I think Blake Bortles is a good insurance policy for you, just in case you need a former starter. But Jeff Driscoll's been in this offense for a couple of years, and in fact, he looked pretty good last week against the Steelers, and there were points in that game where I thought that the Denver Broncos were going to steal it. They were going to find a way to win. So I'm going to say out of bounds of that. I think Bortles he's okay to have, but I can't trust him as a starter.
Oh, I'm going to say out of bounds, too. No, I'm going to give it a swirl here with Driscoll, who, Teek's right, he looked actually pretty good. You know, the one thing that Bortles has, he's big and he's strong and he's pretty fast. We've seen a lot of designed runs back in the day with the Jaguars because they were terrified what would happen when he dropped back and threw a pass.
That's right.
I mean, really. So, you know, again, I'm going to say out of bounds, but without Cortland Sutton, who's out for the season, ACL, you got Jerry Jeudy. You have an interesting tight end from Iowa, Fant. Your running attack is okay. Is actually pretty good.
Well, Phillip Lindsay's down. He's out right now. So.
But he's not gone for the year is what I'm saying.
No. But
yes, but he is out.
You have Melvin Gordon.
You still have Gordon.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, if you were trying to kind of piece it together and Bortles with that running element, maybe you could make the case, but his throwing mechanics are too whacked out for me.
Is he really a runner? Is he really a runner?
No, he's not really a passer, so he better be.
No, I know, but he's not. But he's not like that difference-making runner, if you know what I mean.
Like Josh Allen type or Lamar Allen. Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
So.
Clippers disappointed this year, falling to the Nuggets. That was in round 2. Paul George struggled throughout the bubble, as we know. Now Shams reports that PG-13 gave the team a speech after the Game 7 defeat, but was met with eye rolls and bewilderment, and that George had multiple verbal spats with teammates during the postseason. Now, we know that he admitted to being a little depressed in the isolation of the bubble, so we don't know what's happening there with George's future with his teammates in L.A. So in or out, we are confident that Kawhi and George can fix things and win a title together in L.A. In or out?
I'm going to say out of bounds, BT. And it's less about them fixing, you know, the relationship, whatever that means. It's more about fixing his inability to make big plays when they need to make big plays. So it's less about the ideas that he's trying to, you know, get guys to buy into, and whether or not he's going to be the leader, the vocal leader in that locker room. It's less about that. He's got to do it more than say it. If you ask me, I don't know if he can do it. So out of bounds.
I'm going to say out of bounds, too. And not only that, even if he was able to, I don't know how deeply these relationships need to be repaired. Who knows? Probably not that big of a deal.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Listen, if he comes back and he's beasting, everything's fine.
Yep.
I mean, it all comes down to performance. You know that. You played. I would say, though, independent of that, it doesn't matter because I think the Dallas Mavericks do something really shrewd. Whatever it is, they are bringing in another piece this summer. Book it.
Yep. They're just teams coming, man.
That's what I'm saying.
Teams aren't waiting around like, all right, you guys figure this out, and we'll wait another year.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's not happening.
What if Michael Porter's a consistent 16, 17-point-a-game guy next year, which he might be from the outset, and then you obviously have Jokic and Jamal Murray.
Yep.
Lakers are still there with their duo. So, and there's other teams that are coming too. The Memphis Grizz, see what the Pelicans do. I just think that. And the Warriors, of course.
Yeah,
no, there's just too many good teams. That's it. No, there's no argument that could be made right now that would be contrary to what Teague and I just said. The answer's out of bounds. I'm not feeling it. All right, so baseball, the postseason's coming up here, rapidly approaching. It ends on Sunday, the regular season. Let's go, Yanks. I don't like these two losses in a row here after 10 straight dubs. Let's get it going with Cole back on the mound tonight against Toronto and Buffalo. Anyway, yesterday, baseball announced that seeding, not record, seeding, will determine home field advantage. We'll put quotes around that in the World Series. That means, for example, say if the 2 seed in the American League plays the 4 seed in the NL, obviously the American League team's going to get the advantage based on the higher seed, even if they have a worse record. In or out? Baseball's decision to go by seeding rather than record in the World Series is in or out?
I'm going to say inbounds, BT. This has been such a convoluted and messed up season for Major League Baseball, and so many things have been awry with the schedule. I mean, we don't even know how ultimately they're going to get to, the seeding for the playoffs if teams haven't played an equal number of games. So it's probably going to be on percentage. So it is what it is. It's unconventional year. So if this is going to be unconventional, I guess. And it's not going to be fans anyway. So
I know.
What's the difference?
I know. And I look at it the same way. By the way, Bortles, 6.2 yards a carry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Santher dug this up. He said he had at least one run of over 27 yards in every single season that he played in Jacksonville.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, he's a runner. 6 points. I thought it was over 5. I didn't think it was over 6.
Before you get to your side,
yes.
BT, did they decide to do a bubble? I remember them.
Did who? I'm sorry.
Major League Baseball for the postseason. Are they doing a bubble?
Yeah.
They are doing a bubble.
Yeah.
So it's even less important.
Exactly. That's why I didn't give this any thought. And I'm not saying it's a bad question by Mike. To me, it's just inconsequential because of the circumstances. The other thing, too, is it's not like, let's say, a National League team had more wins but was lower seeded, and there was no DH.
Yeah.
That doesn't even come into play because everybody's got a DH this year. So
you really
the rules
just get
are uniform.
You get one game of batting last.
That's true.
That's it.
Yes.
That's the only issue.
That's true. That's
game.
it. Get to Alabama, little Crimson Tide, most consistently dominant program in college football for years. Oftentimes not having a star quarterback. I mean, obviously Tua was one. He's in Miami. But, Mac Jones is playing rather than five-star freshman Bryce Young. And after taking over for Tua, who was banged up last year, Jones hit on 71% of his passes, 13 touchdowns and 2 picks. He played five starts, posting the nation's second highest QBR behind only Joe Burrow. So, in or out, Mac Jones is good enough to lead Bama and Saban to another chip.
This is a very good question, BT. I'm going to say inbounds because this reminds me when I look at a team that doesn't an Alabama team that doesn't have the superstar at quarterback anymore. It's felt like it's been that way for a long time. It actually is not that way for the SEC, for the dominant team in the SEC. They've often done it with their run game. And so we know that their O-line is going to be good. Why? Because their O-line is always good. Najee Harris is still there as a running back, so they have a good backfield. And what's the kid's name? Robinson, I think, the backup. He's a good player as well. So even if they have to go old school and run the ball like they always have, I think they're still going to be one of the best teams in college football. And as long as Mac Jones doesn't become a liability, they'll be just fine. So I'm going to say inbounds.
Boy, I was going to say inbounds too, but I might say LSU is not the same.
No, you're right. LSU is not at all.
That's huge.
Georgia? Didn't Georgia lose their quarterback?
Yeah, but
he retired. The guy, Jamie Newman. Right? He transferred from Wake, and then he opted out.
But Alabama lost Judy and Ruggs.
Yes, but they still have Jalen Waddle.
I understand
who was a clone of those guys. And
they lost Judy and Ruggs.
Trust me, Devontae Smith was probably the better of the three. I'm just saying. I saw him play in person. And Jalen Waddle, who led the country in punt returns, is just as good. He's like a clone of they were all clones. They were all the same
So they're all going to be first-round picks. They're all that good.
I think Devontae Smith is going to be a first-round pick. I don't know if Jalen Waddle will be.
I got you.
He'll be second or third, that's for sure.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell to be notified when we drop fresh content.